Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweaty. You just read a slightly aggressive email from your boss. Nothing has touched you. Nothing is chasing you. And yet your body is preparing to run for its life. That reaction is not a glitch. It is a message from someone who has been dead for 200,000 years. Your ancestor. Still talking. Still terrified. Still trying to keep you alive. Why does a rude comment feel like a predator? To understand that, you have to go back to a savanna you have never seen, with a nervous system you inherited without asking for it. 200,000 years ago, a human being walking across open grassland did not have the luxury of nuance. A rustle in the tall grass could be wind. It could also be a lion. The humans who paused to calmly analyze the odds, weighing probability against uncertainty, often didn't survive long enough to pass on that calm, analytical brain. The humans who reacted first and thought later did survive. They ran, they froze, they fought, and they had children. This is the foundation of what the physiologist Walter Cannon named the fight-or-flight response back in the 1920s. Cannon discovered that when an animal senses danger, its body doesn't wait for permission. The adrenal glands flood the bloodstream with adrenaline. The heart pumps faster. Blood rushes away from digestion and toward the muscles. Pupils dilate. The entire system reorganizes itself around a single question: fight or run? That question used to have very literal answers. A cliff edge, a venomous snake, a hungry animal with teeth built for exactly this moment. Now the question shows up disguised as a text message that says, "We need to talk." Your brain does not know the difference. That is the part most people never fully absorb. It doesn't know the difference between a lion and a Slack notification. It doesn't know the difference between social rejection and physical danger. To the oldest part of your nervous system, a threat is a threat. The neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying exactly why this happens, focusing on a small almond-shaped structure deep in the brain called the amygdala. Ledoux showed that the amygdala can trigger a fear response before the rest of your brain even finishes processing what it's looking at. Information about danger takes two paths. One goes to the thinking brain, the cortex, which is slow, careful, and analytical. The other goes straight to the amygdala, which is fast, crude, and paranoid. The amygdala's job is simple. Assume the worst. Ask questions later. That's useful when the worst-case scenario is a predator in the grass. It's a lot less useful when the worst-case scenario is your coworker seeming annoyed in a meeting. So what happens when this ancient alarm system meets modern life? It goes off constantly. It goes off for traffic. It goes off for a notification badge on an app. It goes off for a silence in a conversation that lasts one beat too long. Your body doesn't get a memo explaining that none of these things can actually kill you. It just gets the signal, and it responds the same way it would to a real predator, because as far as your amygdala is concerned, there is no other setting. This is what the biologist Robert Sapolsky spent his career explaining through a striking comparison. Zebras, Sapolsky pointed out, experience intense stress responses too. But a zebra's stress ends the moment the danger does. It either escapes the lion or it doesn't. Either way, the stress response is brief, physical, and complete. Humans are different. A human can trigger the exact same stress response just by imagining a threat. Replaying an argument from 3 days ago. Rehearsing a conversation that hasn't happened yet. Worrying about a job that is probably fine. The zebra's body reacts to a lion that is actually there. The human body reacts to a lion that might show up, or one that showed up years ago and never fully left. Doesn't that seem almost cruel? To have a body this good at protecting you, but no way to tell it the danger has passed? Here's where it gets stranger. Your ancestors didn't just develop a fear response. They developed an entire social nervous system layered right on top of it, because for most of human history, being cast out of the group was not a minor inconvenience, it was a death sentence. There were no solo humans thriving out on the savannah. A lone human, cut off from the tribe, had no one to watch for predators while they slept, no one to help carry water, no one to share meat after a hunt went well, or protection after one went badly. Isolation didn't just feel bad, it was lethal. So the brain evolved to treat social rejection with almost the same intensity as physical danger. That's why an unanswered text can trigger something close to panic. That's why public speaking regularly outranks physical harm on people's list of biggest fears. Your nervous system is not overreacting by its own logic.